In our last class, we have seen what is measures of dispersion. In that we have four types. First one is range, and then mean deviation, and then quartile deviation, at last standard deviation. In this presentation, we are going to learn about measures of skewness and kurtosis. So let us see first what is skewness. In skewness, we have two types. First one is Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness and then Bowley's coefficient of skewness. In this presentation, I am going to teach you Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness and some simple problems on Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Let us see our definition of skewness. Measures of skewness tells about the direction and the extension of symmetry or asymmetry in a distribution. We know what is symmetry. If we take an object, if we divide the object into multiple times, like 2 or 3 times, it doesn't change its transformation. It is having the same transformation if we divide into 2 or 3 times. So it is called symmetry. Otherwise it is asymmetry. So here they are say that measures of skewness tells about the direction and the extension of these symmetry objects or asymmetry in a distribution. In other words, it describes the shape of the distribution. So, skewness describes the shape of the distribution. Here also we are given below three shapes. First one is, if a distribution is not symmetrical, then we can say that this distribution is called skewed. So in a perfect symmetrical distribution, its mean, mode and median are coincides. So if a distribution is not symmetrical, then we can say that it is skewed. So which is the first shape explanation. So in the shape of frequency curve, it is having both the sides are equal. So if it is this frequency distribution is not symmetrical, we say that this is a skewed. In a second shape, it is having your right side as a long tail. It is having right side as a long length. So if the frequency curve has a long tail to the right, we say that it is skewed to the right. So because it is having long tail to the right, so it is skewed to the right. So right is a positive direction. So we say that the direction is positively skewed. Similarly, for the left side tail, it is negatively skewed. Our next shape is, if the frequency curve has a long tail to the left, we say that it is skewed to the left, so the distribution is negatively skewed. This is the definition for skewness. If it is a distribution is not symmetrical, then it is skewed. If it is having long tail to the right, it is right skewed, which is positively skewed. If it is having your long tail to the left, it is left side skewed. It is called negatively skewed. In our measures of skewness, we have two types. Our first type is Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness, and then our second type is Bowley's coefficient of skewness. Let us see the formula for Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness, which is denoted by S base K, which is Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness. So SK, S is skewness, K is Curl-Pearson's, which is equal to mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. If you want to find out Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness, you have to know how to find mean, mode and standard deviation. So we have to know the formulas of mean, mode and standard deviation. Then only we can find the value of SK, which is equal to mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. In Curl-Pearson's coefficient of skewness, we have one more formula. When the mode is ill-defined, we use the empirical formula. If it is in a question, we can't able to find the mode value, then we have to use this formula. By using our empirical formula, mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. Therefore, we have to substitute into a formula. Coefficient of skewness, SK, is equal to mean minus 3 median minus 2 mean. In the place of mode, we are substituting 3 median minus 2 mean divided by standard deviation. If we add this, you will get
3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation, which is a formula for Curl Pearson's coefficient of skewness. When we can't able to find the mode, we have to use this formula. Our next formula is Bowley's coefficient of skewness. In Bowley's coefficient of skewness is denoted by SKB or SB. We can denote it as SKB or S base B, which is equal to Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median or 2Q2, which is median or Q2. We can say our second quartile as median divided by Q3 minus Q1. Here in Bowley's coefficient of skewness, we are used only quartiles value. So this is also called as quartile measure of skewness, and it varies between +1 and -1. So if you want to find out Bowley's coefficient of skewness, we have to know the formulas of Q1, Q2, Q3, 3 quartiles formula. Let us see one example. Calculate Curl Pearson's coefficient of skewness for the following data. Here discrete data are given below. So we have to find mean, mode and standard deviation, because our Curl Pearson's formula is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. So we have to know the formula for mean for discrete data, which is x bar is equal to summation fx divided by n. And standard deviation formula is sigma is equal to root of summation fd square by n minus summation fd by n the whole square. Let us construct an table. Our first column is given x values and second column is frequencies. Third column we have to find fx by using our f into x. F value into x value. We have to multiply frequency into given x values. You will get fx value, and then you have to add all the fx. You will get summation fx is equal to 328 and summation f. If you add all the frequencies, you will get summation f is equal to 100. Now you have to substitute into our mean formula, which is x bar is equal to summation fx divided by caps n, which is 328 divided by 100 is equal to 3.28, which is your mean value. Next, we are going to find the value of d, because in standard deviation we need d value, because we have to find fd and fd square. So that we are going to find a fourth column, which is d, by using a formula x minus x bar. We know what is x bar. Our mean value is equal to 3.28. We have to subtract this 3.28 in all our x values, each x value. So 1 minus 3.28 is equal to minus 2.28. 2 minus 3.28 is minus 1.28. 3 minus 3.28 is equal to minus 0.28. Like that you have to subtract all the x bar values into your x. After that you have to find fd. So you have to multiply your frequency into d values. You will get your fd value, and then you have to find d square, multiply into frequency. You will get fd square, which is in last column. So next you have to find the value of summation fd square, which is you have to add all the values in fd square. You will get 182.16, which is your summation fd square, and then add all the values in fd. You will get 0, which is summation fd is equal to 0. Now you have to substitute all these values into your formula. Standard deviation is equal to root of summation fd square by n minus summation fd by n the whole square. If you substitute these values, you will get 1.3496. Approximately it can be written as 1.35, which is your standard deviation. Now we got our mean value and also standard deviation value. Then what about your mode value, which is equal to 3? So how will you find out mode value for discrete data? In frequency, you have to check which frequency is highest. So in this frequency, 30 is greater value. So we have to take the corresponding x value, which is 3. So that our mode is equal to 3. So in discrete data, we have to check in a frequency which is highest value. Here 30 is highest. So we are taking the corresponding x value, which is equal to 3. So our mode is equal to 3. Now we have to substitute all these values into a formula. Curl Pearson's coefficient of skewness is equal to mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. So our mean value is 3.28 minus mode is 3 divided by standard deviation is 1.35. If you solve this, you will get 0.207, which is your Curl Pearson's coefficient of skewness for discrete data. Sk is equal to 0.207. Let us see our next example. Calculate Curl Pearson's coefficient of skewness from the given data. Here weekly wages and number of workers are given. In our weekly wages, the data are like class interval, which is our continuous data. So we have to use our continuous data formula. But in this data, our mode value, highest frequency value is 70, which is given at loss value, which is 70. But in that, our F1 is 70, but F0 is 60. We don't have F2 value. So that we are omitting our mode value, finding of skewness for mode value. Here we are going to use the formula for skewness is equal to 3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation. Because our mode value is in loss value, which don't have F2 value, so that we are going to find out the value of 3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation. In solution, they are given, since the distribution is skewed, that is, it is not symmetrical. It would be better to calculate coefficient of skewness based on mean and median. If it is not possible to find the mode value, then we can use mean and median formula, which is given skewness is equal to 3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation. So in this problem, we are going to find out the mean, median, standard deviation for continuous data. We know the formulas for mean and median, standard deviation for continuous data. Let us construct an table. Our first column X values as weekly wages and frequency as number of workers. Our first column is X values and second column is frequency. Next we have to find mid value X. You know how to find mid value X. We have to add your class intervals, each class interval, and find out the average. So 40 plus 50 divided by 2 is equal to 45. 50 plus 60 divided by 2 is equal to 55. Like that you have to find your mid values, and then you have to find the value of D. Our D formula is X minus A divided by C. Here our class intervals difference is 10, so C is equal to 10. In mid value we are taking an assumed mean, which is 85. So A is equal to 85. So X minus 85 divided by 10, which is 45 minus 85 is minus 40 divided by 10 is equal to minus 4. Similarly 55 minus 85 is minus 30 divided by 10 is equal to minus 3. 65 minus 85 is minus 20 divided by 10 is equal to minus 2. Like that you have to find your D values and also D square value. After that you have to multiply F into D. You will get FD values, and then F into D square. You will get FD square value. Now you have to substitute into our mean formula. Our mean formula is A plus summation FD by N into C. Here deviation method formula is given. You can use direct method formula also. So A value is assumed mean is 85 and summation FD is 778. If we add all the values in FD, you will get 778. If you add all the values in FD square, you will get 3510. And if you add all the frequencies, you will get 300. Now here we are substituting. Summation FD is 778 divided by total frequency caps N is 300 into class limit is 10. If we solve this, you will get 110.93, which is your mean value. Next, you have to find out the value of standard deviation. So our standard deviation formula for continuous data is root of summation FD square by N minus summation FD by N the whole square into C. Here summation FD square value is 3510 divided by 300 minus summation FD value is 778 divided by 300 square into class limit is 10. First we have to take square root for the terms. You will get root of 11.7 minus 6.725 into 10. If you solve this, you will get 22.3, which is your standard deviation value. After that, you have to find the value of median. So in median, you have to find the cumulative frequency. Now you have to find your cumulative frequency by using your frequencies values. In first value frequency is 5. So that in cumulative frequency also first value is 5. Next you have to add first two frequencies, which is 5 plus 6 is equal to 11, which is your second cumulative frequency. And then you have to add first three frequencies, 5 plus 6 plus 8, which is equal to 19, which is your third cumulative frequency. After that you have to add first four frequencies, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10, which is equal to 29, which is your fourth cumulative frequency. Like that you have to add one by one, you will get your cumulative frequency, all the values. If you want to check is this your cumulative frequency is right or wrong, by using your total frequency value, which is 300. In cumulative frequency is also your last value is 300. Then your all the cumulative values are right. Now you have to find the median value. So median is equal to size of n by tooth item. So you have to find n by tooth item, which is 300 divided by tooth item is equal to 150. So we have to check this 150 exceeds which value in cumulative frequency. In red marked value, which is 170. 170 is exceeds highest, greater compare with 150. So that we are taking the corresponding column, corresponding row, which is your class interval is 110 to 120, and then corresponding frequency is 50, and the pre-median class, the before term of cumulative frequency is 120. So that we are taking your class limiters, median class is 110 to 120, and then your lower limit, in that your lower limit is 110. So and then pre-median class is 120, and then your frequency is 50. Now we are substituting all these values into your formula. So L is 110 plus n by 2 is 150 minus pre-median class is 120 divided by frequency is 50 into 10. Class limit is 10. If you solve this, you will get median is equal to 116. So which is your median value. Now we have to substitute all the values, mean, median and standard deviation, into our skewness formula, which is skewness is equal to 3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation, which is equal to 3 of 110.93 minus median is 116 divided by standard deviation is 22.3. If you solve this, you will get minus 0.682, which is your skewness value. In Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness, here we are used two formulas. In this problem, we are used the formula based on mean and median, because in our question we can't able to find out the value of mode, because our mode value, highest frequency, is the last value. In that we have only F0 and F1. We don't have the value of F2. So the mode value doesn't exist. So we are finding the value of mean and median, because our next formula is skewness is equal to 3 of mean minus median divided by standard deviation. So that we are using here this formula. In our first problem, we have used the formula mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. In this problem, we are able to find out the value of mode. So that we have used here this formula. So in next problem also, if it is a frequency is in between value, which is in third value or fourth value, we can able to find out the mode value. But here it is in last value, so that we are not able to find out the value of mode. So that we are using this formula. So you have to remember that if it is you are not able to find out the mode value, then only you can use this formula for skewness.
Thank you for watching this video. In this presentation, we have seen what is skewness and Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness formula, Bowley's coefficient of skewness formula, and we have solved some problems on Carl Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Go through these two problems. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. I will help you. Thank you once again.